So what is this? Layman gaming has been a huge part of my life for the last 3 years. Love doing it, gonna continue to do it. But there is a part of me that likes to talk about other things. So when I was a younger lad, I did a Bachelor of Music, majoring in performance. I've been performing for about 10 years. Also multiple acting courses, so it's always been a passion of mine. So I really want to talk more about TV shows and movies. Now I might do the occasional song on here. I did an album a few years ago and it went platinum. Promise it did. And I might do some of that too, so who knows. But predominantly it is going to be about acting. It's going to be about TV shows and movies, and that's what I want to talk about. So guys, if you want to come on the journey, I'd love to have you here. It'd be great to see you here. If you just want to talk about the gummies and the memes, I appreciate that too. Any watch time is good watch time, so that's all good. But I just finished Mythic Quest. I have some thoughts. Mythic Quest is about a game studio at the top of their game with a big MMORPG. They're just about to release their next big DLC drop, right? Now it's headed by Ian Grimm. He's the creative director, and it kind of centers all around his vision and the cast of characters that clash with his personality, or with the personalities that also work within the business. So that's kind of what this is all about. So we actually originally saw this at Ubisoft's press conference in 2019, and I gotta be honest, when I first saw it, Ralph and I were like, okay, the trailer's not looking great, to be honest, but I was like, love Sunny and Philly, I'm on board, let's just see what this thing is. Sunny and Philly was some of the best television I had seen in a long time. Milksteak, the Dennis system, Lethal Weapon 5, like, just fucking brilliant moments. And the reason why that was so good, in my opinion, because it never stopped feeling like it was a couple of kids in a garage that had, you know, a camcorder and they had full creative freedom. And even when Danny DeVito came on board, it still felt like that. Now, I didn't expect it to be like Sunny and Philly. This was going to be its own thing, but what Sunny and Philly had going for it was creative authenticity. Like, the whole thing just always felt like that. And this is what this show is lacking big time. Every single exchange just feels wooden. It doesn't feel real. It feels manufactured. And I think if you're gonna go for a gaming audience, you need to make sure that it feels like it was made by gamers. It kind of feels like a bunch of dudes got together, and ladies of course, and they were like, I've played games once, we can write a script and we'll appeal to the gamer. It just doesn't come across authentic at all. Even with other supporting characters like Poppy, when she's in the middle of dialogue with Ian Grimm, you're just not buying it. It just feels like two actors in a room doing a scene instead of actually seeing what it's like to be in a dev studio. Like, that's what I think this thing was maybe aiming for, and I just feel like it's really missing the mark. And even in moments where there was some sort of real moment going on, it was always from the writers, they would jam in some sort of joke, or like they would just give you this like whiplash effect to try and bring you back to, this is a comedy and this is edgy and cool, but you're left with no real moments where you feel like there's any depth to this at all. The most organic scenes were actually between the QA testers, Rachel and Dana. Like, that was fucking great. Every time they were acting together, it felt like authentic, genuine. You wanted to know more about it. Their love story was just so good. And that's not coming from like, you know, hey, I want to see them kiss. You know, not like that. It was actually just really good stuff. It was a very good story. It was acted brilliantly. Everything that they did on screen, I was like, I am buying this. And this is making me interested in the story. It was probably the only thing by the end of the series that I was like, I want to know and learn more about that. The other stories, not so much. But look, it's not all bad. I want to say that there is one episode that kind of comes completely out of left field. It's episode 5. It's showing a husband and wife, a young couple, wanting to start their own studio back in the 80s or whatever, right, or early 90s. It's by far some of the best television I've seen in a while. And if you do not watch this show, just watch episode 5. It doesn't have any of the other characters in it. It's just these two people that tell a little kind of like mini story within it. It's a short film almost within this. It goes for about 25 minutes long, so engaging, so real. I loved it. I was like, yes, that's the glimmer of like what I think this show could have been. But then it returns to the original cast in present day, and you don't really see anything of that, apart from one or two mentions later on. And that was some of the best stuff in it. To see this rags to riches story and how it affects their relationship and how it affects their minds and how the power of it and business growing. It was just a classic, awesome story. And it showed me the potential of what a gaming story could be. And maybe they'll return to that in season 2, because this has been renewed for a season 2. So maybe season 2 will see more of that, which I would like to see. But apart from that, you finish this whole season and go, it was just a barrage of quick, snappy jokes that don't really land that well. And a middle episode that makes you feel like I wanted to watch that season or that show instead. And all in all, I just don't think this has landed overly well. I would say don't really watch this, in my opinion. The Witcher is a similar story where it actually got renewed for season 2 pretty much before it even came out. But The Witcher's different. The Witcher has good bones. I feel like there's some good stuff there. There's engaging characters, a thick lore that I want to know more about. The world is interesting, and Geralt is interesting. He is an interesting character. Iron Grimm, on the outset, might look like he's an interesting character, but the more the show has gone on, the more like I have not reaped any rewards out of watching you. That's how I feel, at least. Maybe check it out if you want, but if anything, just check out episode 5. That was really, really good. But that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll be back a couple of days with another movie or review. Sam out.